To talk about Chronexia and the Eight Seals, we first need to ask what it is and what it was going for. I'll start with the latter because it's easier to explain. Misty in the past has stated that he wished for Chronexia and the Eight Seals to achieve around 2 million views within the first 2 weeks of its release. He has also stated that he wants it to be on the scale of RWBY. So let's talk about what makes that highly improbable. RWBY is a production by Austin-based production company Rooster Teeth. RWBY is licensed under Warner Bros. Japan for dub distribution. It is also distributed on Crunchyroll, as Crunchyroll and Rooster Teeth are both funded by the same company, Elation, which is run by AT&T. Now, let's look at the financial situation of Chronexia. Misty has around $5,000 per month coming in through his Patreon, and he is largely supported through ad revenue. Misty is collaborating with the Studio Izune Animation. Now, you may ask what Izune have made in the past. The short answer is nothing. The longer answer is they've created a Kickstarter campaign for a film titled The Tree of Life. The project was targeted for $15,000, which it did not even achieve 1/10 of. And the studio has a Patreon with $15 per month coming in. So if we assume that for the 10 months that this was in production, Misty was able to live off entirely ad revenue for the 10 months that the first episode took, Izune would have $50,150, but it's more likely that they had a budget of around $20,000 to create the episode, almost 3.5 times what their film was going to be made for. But it doesn't end there. Izune Animation have both a website and a DeviantArt group. The website shows that the studio apparently only has one animator working for it, this being one Peter Hansen, who is at no point through the credits mentioned. Now, this may seem like random tangential ramblings, just trust me, the picture is going to come together as fast as the Eight Seals will. Actually, a lot faster. The Facebook page for Izune, Watashi wa Animation, has at least one listed employee. I was only able to find this employee through the Izune Animation Works Facebook page. This is one Izu Isima, who is listed as the animation director and as a storyboard artist. Based off of the Watashi wa Animation Facebook page, it appears that the people who were Izune's studio ended up breaking apart. So we have accounts of conflicting information. Why is all of the new information coming from this Watashi wa Animation if they are still working under the name Izune? Based off the titles of the posts on the studio's Patreon and the DeviantArts of the members, one of the founding members who went through the alias Nene is the one who had left. Based off of this, we could say that Nene is this Peter Hansen. This would make it possible that Izu Isima is the one who is voicing for the studio. The reason that I say this is possible is that the studio's Patreon page is written in first person. Also, all of the public posts mirror that of the Izzy the Bomb DeviantArt. So there's our first link to any actual information regarding the production of the series. So what we know is that the studio that's referred to was founded by 3 friends. After the failure of the Tree of Life project, the group that split with the departure of Nene. After this, they began working on other projects that seem to have never ended up becoming anything, rather just continually falling flat. Until late 2015, when they had managed to get into contact with Misty Chronexia. And in one way or another they agreed to adapt his novel into animation. This mess of a history makes me question why Misty even agreed to have them work with him. It also seems that most of the people working on the project were working via distance. Let's compare this to RWBY. RWBY was made by a team of contracted animators and Rooster Teeth employees, all working in one location in Austin, Texas. And, in all reality, I have no clue why Misty thought that this kind of production could ever challenge the numbers of RWBY. Because unlike Rooster Teeth, who at the time of launching RWBY had around 8 million subscribers, Misty had only achieved 1 million. That is just some of the stuff about production side. Let's talk about the marketability of Chronexia and the Eight Seals. For those of you who don't know, Misty Chronexia is an anime top 10 channel, known for insane levels of clickbait that he uses. Monty Ohm and Rooster Teeth were known for making the web series Red vs. Blue, which had started in 2003. They were some of the pioneers of web video and the style of machinima. Monty Ohm was also known for the creation of the web series Dead Fantasy, famous for being one of the earliest 3D CG web series based heavily around fighting. So, Here we have two pioneers of web media working together on an original series, both extremely popular, both extremely talented. This is why the community began to get hyped over it. Misty had never worked on any creative production other than his novel beforehand, and he worked with an animation company that had never actually made anything. There was no reason for the community to care about other than it was a production made by a member of the anime community. So that's just talking about what it was and what it was aiming for. Let's get on to a bigger question. What is Chronexia and the Eight Seals? Well, it's a 336-page French-language novel written by one Mathieu Brunel, an anime YouTuber. It was translated into broken English in 2015. That's the origin of this series. But by all accounts that I've seen, the book is nothing special.
I can always say this is my favorite book. I haven't read it, but I can say it's my favorite book ever. It's on the top of my list. I'm so happy.
But what is the significance of asking what the novel is? Well, it should hopefully give us a better understanding of what this is going for. Well, here I go. Buying a YouTuber's book. So the novel starts off by stating that this character's memoirs would be sent into space. So I guess that means that this is a science fiction story rather than a fantasy. Anyway, that's a rather odd choice, though Digibro's novel starts off with an underage sex scene, so perhaps it isn't all that strange. Then it continues into an Avatar The Last Airbender style spiel about the world. I guess that's what Misty thinks is universe building, but I will make a point here. Avatar utilizes its aesthetic persona along with the text to create the effect. But I digress. If we look at the project as an adaptation of the novel, it's faithful. Extremely faithful. It's almost as if what the animators did was take the existing dialogue and just turned it into images. But here's one fatal flaw in that. Misty did not describe what any of his characters looked like. At all. Whatsoever. In the first chapter. In memoriam. Though the way that it was made into animation at least gives us some degree of knowledge of who these characters are, while simultaneously giving us less information on their relations to one another. See, I would consider the worst part about the episode to be the lack of context, and for the chapter of the book to be the lack of description. And there is so much more to say about this episode, much more about the cinematography and the animation. So check back next week for a video picking apart the cinematography and story of the show. If you want another video on this series, go and check out the one by David's Films, link in the description. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and consider supporting me on my Patreon. Also consider subscribing, and I spent $13 on this shit, so y'all better pay up.
I don't like it. No, no. What is it? I don't like it. No, it's bad. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like everything, and I don't like it. I don't like it. 7 out of 10.